Hi, this is Nina from Rafaela Soul Sessions. I am here today with one of my lovely clients who I had a session with about a month ago. And she is going to have a little chat with me about how she is, how it's been, and whether she would recommend anyone had a session or not. So here is Hannah. Welcome, Hannah.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, excellent. Hannah lives on the Isle of Egg in on the Scottish coast, coast.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. Um, how are you, first of all? How are you generally
I'm
now?
good. I'm happy to be home. I love being here on Egg. All right. Tired all the time, but I think that's the winter still clinging to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm mostly pretty good. What you said.
So, can you tell my viewers what was it that led you to have a session? What was it that kind of made you decide that you wanted to have a session? What was going on for you?
Yeah, so for a long time for me, I've been dealing with a lot of mental health issues. So it's been I've had a long history involving eating disorders and self-harm, and also I go in and out of these bouts of depression and anxiety. The anxiety that sits around a lot more, but the depression can become quite extreme for me. And at the beginning of the new year, I was very much in that place. Luckily for me, Nina is a very long-time family friend. And when I called my mum and I was like, I'm not okay, she's like, it's gonna be fine. We have the tools. And then shoved me in your direction. I think you caught me very well.
Oh,
Yeah, and then we did our first little chat, just figuring out if this was something that would be a good idea for me, which was really helpful because it was really cool and because we were just having a wee conversation about it. But even when we did it, we did the tapping,
yeah,
which is still a very relaxing thing.
yeah.
So yeah, no, that's sort of what led me to you, and immediately it was like, okay, yeah, this is someone who knows what they're doing. She can do this.
Yeah.
Let's try.
No, thank you. Yeah, we did a bit of CTT tapping to try and
Yeah.
get some of the initial pressure and heaviness lifted a bit. Did you find that helpful?
Well, yeah, and in so many ways it made so much sense. You're bringing in like your brain and and the words you're using are very I don't know, energy inducing, but you're also getting your body moving, which is like it's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time that gets your brain going in different places.
Yeah, it's
It's sort
like
of
making you
that's
use
to
both
push
sides
out
of,
anxiety.
yeah,
There's no room, you're busy.
yeah. It's like activating both sides of your brain as well as putting your intention into what you're saying, which is kind of just
Yeah,
opens you up
yeah.
for what you need to release and look at. So yeah, CTT is a great tool and it's
Mm.
very helpful. So we agreed to have a session, and then did you have any like expectations? What did you think? What was going to happen, or did you have any ideas? Or
Well, you did tell me to try not to because putting too much on it is. I now after having had one, I definitely can see like if you go in expecting either like fireworks and the universe imploding, or like you expect nothing to happen, you're not going to be satisfied either way.
yeah,
You have to sort of just want it to be something that's really helpful and healthy, but other than that, you have to sort of just be like, okay, well, I'm going to do my research, I'm going to listen to my teacher, but I'm not going to try and put too much pressure on it before I even really understand what it is.
yeah,
I think that was okay. I
yeah,
was just really wanted it to work. I was just like, yeah, I expect nothing. I accept something really, at least calming and relaxing,
yeah,
like going and doing guided meditation, going and doing yoga, something like that. That was the least I was expecting from it. I was just like, well, if nothing else, it'll be a really nice, loving, calming thing with my friend, which
yeah,
can't be a bad thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you were on a practitioner's point of view, you were great because you really took on board everything I was saying about how to prepare. You went and you listened to the things that I sent you and the information I gave you, and you in that sense you were really like a perfect client for me because you really put the effort in, and I think it really paid off as well. Um,
It became really interesting. I'm a little like weird information monster. I just love it because you can explain something to a person and they have no idea. And now I do this all the time. I'm just like, yeah, so this is what it's called and this is what it's about. And they're just like, what? I
yeah.
love that feeling. There's
Yeah.
loads of research into this.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, so can you give us a little rundown of what it's like going through the induction process? What it feels like, what sensations you have, or can
So
you?
like when you start the session or
Yeah, when you're getting into that relaxed state and I'm talking to you and taking you through the induction type thing.
so yeah, it's very interesting. I've been getting into a comfortable position. I lay down. I know you don't have to, but it helped me. I think if I'd been sitting up, it wouldn't have worked as well. I would have been too conscious.
Yeah,
Um, but then you just start your speaking changed, which for a second was strange for me because I know you so well. It's like, okay, this is Nina at work, and then you just spoke for a long time in this very soothing way, and it just sort of like became like your voice was just sort of a bubble around me, and it was still just happening for the longest time. And um it all I could hear what you were saying and I was listening, but it suddenly became like not so much the point was the words as what it was the tone, and
yeah,
then it just sort of brought me slowly down and then in, and then I was just sort of in myself for a little bit, and then you started asking these questions, and we were flying, we were off somewhere else. I had no idea where these words were coming from or these images. These it's like when you're having a memory, unless you have like a memory that's very photographic, you don't remember so much exactly how you saw things. You remember doing things, or you remember like the feeling it gave you. And for me, it was very like that. I wasn't seeing images. I was a I was above the ground, or I was a a bird. Actually, I was a bird in my session.
yeah,
um, so that was from like there wasn't any doubt in my mind as well. And after we started having that one actually ended up being a little bit of a traumatic lifetime for me. But through the whole thing, you were just asking these really good questions, and it didn't felt like I was being led. It just felt like someone was sort of going along with me, just sort of wanting to know what was going on. It was really amazing. That's why I remember going right into the first bit. Was just I was just feeling very cool and very calm, and then feeling just completely different to how I've ever felt in a meditation. It's not the same thing at all,
yeah,
because you're still there, you're still all happy in your body, but something else is giving you information, or you're someone else comes in that has different information. It's not just you coming up with stories or you getting to go and see it. It's not you
yeah,
doing it. There's
yeah.
someone else.
It's not
Definitely.
you making it up. It's not
Yeah.
you just
It's not.
making up a story because it
It doesn't. You're not talking. It doesn't make it.
yeah. It's your higher self starts speaking
Yeah.
through you, and give it starts giving you all these impressions and ideas, and it all this story starts unraveling. And I remember a really lovely thing you said when you had two bird lives, didn't you?
Did
Yeah,
have two bird eyes.
I think it was your first bird life. You said this was my favorite bird life.
It
And then
was,
you
yeah.
were like, I don't know
When
how I knew that. But it was.
when we went, yeah, because we did the great thing where it was like we went back and forth in the life. So called everything in, and then suddenly I was in the life in sort of random day. Then I
Yeah,
went to my birth. I went to the really horrible moment where my my love died.
Yeah.
And then we were leaving. We were going somewhere else, just through whatever door you'd leave through, and I just knew so suddenly that it's like, yeah, that was one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
There's no reason I shouldn't go back to that life, even though there was like a certain there was a wee trauma in there, but definitely it was. I don't know how I know that. I don't know how many lives I've had, but it's like, yep, that bird was
That was my
one of my
favorite.
favorites.
It's so sweet. And that
Yeah.
life was really, I think about that lifetime sometimes and I do shed a wee tear because it was really beautiful because you sat
Mm-hmm.
on your nest of eggs and oh, you
There
know,
were no
no, it
eggs.
was your nest of pebbles
They
because
were pebbles and they weren't eggs because my husband's bird. Well, I don't know that birds have marriage, but my husband's
yeah,
died. That was the strangest thing. I did not go in expecting to cry,
yeah,
but in that lifetime and in the later one that we did that where I wasn't a bird, I was a person. I was hugely felt by these emotions, and like, I mean, birds don't have these kind of emotions, but when you as a person with all the wonderful emotions I have go into that experience, it's just impossible not to feel so
yeah,
bereft and to feel very, very cheated by not being able to have eggs. But there was also a lovely sense about the bird. I understood a lot more about its life than we actually went and looked at.
yeah.
Yeah,
You said as well, birds can't cry. So
birds can cry.
yeah,
Maybe I had to cry for the bird.
yeah, and it was a lovely sense of it's like you releasing this emotion for that. I'm getting goosebumps. Releasing that emotion for
For my
that
past self.
aspect of you for this lifetime that you
Yeah.
had. Sorry, carry on.
No, because for my past self, it's like, yeah, of course I'll do that for. I mean, my soul has been in all these different places. If I can do whatever I can for it, that's probably helpful. My
Yeah,
soul's a little bit battered,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm happy to release that for the bird,
yeah.
definitely.
And
How did you feel about
we
it?
went through another couple of lives. You were a whale, weren't you? You
I was a whale for a bit. It was on my birth as a whale.
yeah,
Going along with my mother, which was a very strange experience. It didn't feel large. I could I knew I must be quite a large thing because I was a whale, but I was just being born, and I remember the immense, like, the feeling of being next to like this immense mum, which was my
yeah,
mum.
yeah,
Absolutely wild. And being underwater, it was just like it wasn't even cold, but I could tell that I was underwater. But it was a short one, but it was so crazy.
yeah,
It felt so much more different from being the bird because I was dealing with darkness. With any image I was seeing, it was dark and blue.
yeah,
I did think I'd known the soul that was inside the mum, definitely.
yeah.
I think it was my mum's sort of surrogate mum,
Right.
Rosie. I
Yeah,
think I figured out who it was. I was like, wait, that was definitely, yeah. Um,
yeah,
Someone I sort of know as a grandmother now, but not in any way related to me. I think that was her. But
yeah. It's
it was
lovely.
really kind of cool being a whale. People find that very cool. I told my friend about it, and he's like, "That's really awesome."
Yeah, it's
Like,
interesting seeing like life through the eyes of another creature. Like, what it's
yeah,
like
because in
to
that
be
it
a
was
bird.
just my mum.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just my mum. That was life to me,
yeah,
which was obvious. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, I was a baby whale, blah blah blah. I could see this vast expanse in blue, so I obviously was terrified of that. But it was fine because it was just all mum. Mum
yeah,
was there.
yeah. It's
Not
lovely.
my mum, but the whale's mum. Oh, my mum. But
Yeah. So then we shifted to your next life, and that was a human life, wasn't it?
yeah, that one was a lot harder to read
Mm.
until I got into it. Like at the start, it was, and yeah, I was definitely mumbling a lot when we were doing this because I wasn't articulating. I listened back on the thing and I was like, oh, poor Nina, she did not, she wouldn't have been able to hear half of that. Um, but then I did start getting into very clear images. I was a woman in, I don't, it felt like some kind of Roman time,
Mhm.
and I was going through a market and I had my arm broken by a speeding chariot, which was horrible. And I was like, that's awful. The chariot didn't stop. And then a few weeks later, the guy driving it came along and was apologizing. Somehow it wasn't his fault. He had bad bosses or something. And we got married.
Yeah.
And I had a baby, and his name was Mark. I had a baby called Mark, and it was a really, really lovely life. I had a teacher as well who was very important to me. I had skills, and there was just huge amounts of love in this life, and it's something that I was being very affected by, because right now I don't, especially back then. Now I'm on level, but I wasn't feeling loved by anybody, including myself. That was really hard. Being like, oh my god, but and then I was like, oh my god, it is there, that's lovely. And then myself went to the market, and she was like coming into late age, middle age. She wasn't old, but she had a heart attack and died.
Yeah.
And then we were in this place, we were waiting for my soul to go on, and it was just like, no, I don't want to move, I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That was just taken away with me from me. How dare you?
Yeah.
It was very, yeah, my soul was traumatized. It was not happy.
Just didn't
I
want to leave
feel
that
that.
experience. Didn't want to leave that lifetime, and you were carrying a lot of grief
Mm.
from that.
Oh yeah, I was just not okay.
Yeah.
Like I remember we were going into it, and I was in the market, and I was just like, I was feeling like this panic. I felt like a pain in my chest. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. I know that something's gonna happen. And then you were great. You sort of just like, okay, you're just gonna have the information. You don't need to go through it. Just say what happened. And I was like, she had a heart attack, which took away the physical thing that was going on with me,
Yeah.
which was a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you don't need to experience the physical sensations when we go
yeah,
through a death. You can just
and
view it as
the
you're watching a film, or observing it.
yeah,
You don't
exactly.
have
That
to
was
be in it and feeling it. And I think people sometimes worry about these sessions, that if they go into a past life experience and they go through a death, they're going to feel everything again.
yeah. That's. I mean,
Not
it's
the case, is it?
no. I mean, I was there when the bird died. It was a very different thing. It died very old. It died. It was cold. And it was just like it was a happier death, though. I think there was,
Yeah.
and like the thing is, it wasn't other than it being obviously a heart attack and uncomfortable experience, a bad thing. There wasn't so much anger in the body as it was. Like I could tell that like the grief and the anger wasn't coming from. I mean, the body was of no use anymore, I guess. So like the person that I'd been was
Yeah.
just over. It was all coming from the soul.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I could remember seeing in the other transitions we'd done, I had a sense of doorways. I had a sense of moving on,
Yeah.
and I knew there were options. I knew where I could go. Um, and it felt different every time we did that. But this soul just didn't want to go anywhere,
Yeah.
and it stayed nowhere. Like it shattered. Really, it just became too thin to really connect into one thing and go anywhere else, and it didn't want to.
Yeah, your spirit just did not want to leave that life behind and
It was going
continue
through
on.
its mourning period, really,
Yeah.
which is hard to do when you don't have a
Yeah.
body to do it with.
Yeah, exactly. And so when we went on from there, we contacted your higher self,
Mm-hmm.
and we started asking your questions. And how was that for you? How did that feel? How did the
It was strange. I think for me it was weird because we were getting to the end of the 4 hours. You told me. I woke up and I thought it was one,
Yeah.
but so I think as we got to the end of the questions, I was just getting tired. Which
Yeah.
would make it hard to connect. But in the beginning of it, it was so crazy. I just had the answers that you were asking for.
Yeah.
And well, I didn't. The answers just came. Like
Yeah.
listening to it back, it's weird hearing my voice being just like, oh yeah, no, yes, why, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
and then very slow in other parts, or just like, well, it's just very simple, really. And I just like, that is like so not simple.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was confusing to have all this wisdom, this alternate knowledge thing going on, and using my mouth.
Yeah. But how do you feel now that you look back on that experience and those answers came through? How do you feel like that? How do you feel like the session has affected your life? How do you feel about it?
I do remember it a lot. I bring it back into my head because this was someone smarter talking to me.
Yeah.
And if you don't listen to smart people, then you're a very stupid person. Um, so we did like, we went and did some sort of physical healing, and I think my higher self said it took away, or that I didn't need self-harm anymore, and I haven't had the urge since. The
Amazing.
ideas come into my head, but I've not had the actual urge, which is a very familiar thing, which is weird not to have for me.
Yeah.
That's been since I was 13 years old, and
Wow.
now it's just gone, completely gone. And now I just have to deal with, using my beautiful oils and treating my skin with love,
Yeah.
uh, which was really amazing and interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing, actually. It's like that's never happened before.
Yeah.
And there was also messages about the way I was doing to write, something I've been really trying to do, something I've used to do all the time, something that used to give me a lot of joy, and that's that I'd stopped doing during this time of this really severe depression for me, and my higher self was just like, nah, do that.
Yeah.
You
Right.
love doing that.
Yeah.
It's strange when I think about it, because the images and the words come in so hard, like the impressions come in so hard into my head. I'm just like, yeah, this is the knowledge, I have it. And trying to relay it out loud, it became a different thing. It became like sort of like, well, yeah, you just gotta do this, much more gentle voice. But I was getting all these big like, nah, dude, this is what you gotta do.
Yeah, higher selves they're fairly straight to the point. They don't beat around the bush.
There was no self like information coming through. It's like generally like, nope, okay. And then if I was saying things like, oh, I don't really know, then my higher self just didn't have any information for me
Yeah.
at that time, which makes sense. They're busy people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has had very positive effects. I mean, being the recording is helpful, the audio that you sent, because you
Yeah.
can go back and listen to it. And I mumble like crazy. Just dying. Like, people, if you do it, get a little headphones with like a little microphone. It will help you out. If you have
Yeah.
the cool tech stuff, use that.
Yeah.
But I didn't, and now I struggle to listen
You
to
did
your
fine.
wisdom.
You did fine, and we got through it. We got through to the end of it. But yeah,
Yeah.
some of the bits we kind of had to. Well, I kind of had to really
Repeat things
listen.
as an answer again. I can remember you thought I remember in the the life where I was in Rome, and you were asking, like, oh, so your mom's a painter. I was like, no. My mom's not a painter. My teacher's a painter and I'm a painter. All going on in my head. I was like, what the hell? Like, you're not listening to me. And then I listened back to it, and I was like, oh, you can't make out anything I'm saying.
It was a struggle sometimes, but we got there. We got through it.
Yeah, no. And that was what was really good about you. You just kept asking questions. If you didn't understand what I was saying, you did ask again, which is helpful for the audio. But is also helpful just moving you along, keeping you going somewhere. It
Yeah.
was a weird stop when we got to the life that didn't want to go anywhere. Um, it feels very intentioned, all the lives we did get to see it. Like, my higher self was definitely making me look at several different things
Yeah.
that you can read very heavily into and understand what it was really trying to show me. But yet through all of it, it's really, because I mean, I suppose in a lot of ways you could guide yourself through some sort of thing like this, but it's so much better to have someone guiding you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not shoving you, they're not pushing you, they're not trying to do anything except it, like, you stuck with me for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's like, you are not there really for yourself. You are, other than the awesome giggle part that we had after, which was really brilliant.
Yeah, we had a lot of giggling. Yeah.
Wasn't that so freaking cool? But it is. It's just having someone there that just knows their stuff. They know what they're doing. Is excited by what you're telling them, but is holding all that back until the end. Just making sure you get the most out of this. And you do
Yeah.
so much preparation for it. You do this. You make a massive freaking gift to someone, and then you sit there for hours while they slowly figure out what that gift is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand the gift, figure out what the gift means to them.
Yeah.
It's brilliant stuff. It's really amazing.
Oh.
Honestly, for the next few days though, it was a bit spacey, but
It does take a little bit to come back from it, but do you feel like you've
you
come
have to
back
go
from
touch
it?
some dirt or something. You have to go hang out with a dog, touch some dirt,
Yeah.
lie in the sand on the beach. That was great. I'm
Yeah.
lucky enough that I've got a beach down the road, so.
Yeah, you are
Uh,
not, you're not far from nature. In
yeah,
fact, you're
I
right
had to
in it.
go.
So yeah, you could quite easily go and put your feet in the sand, which is the perfect thing to do.
Yeah.
So as you reflect on it now and reflect on the experience and the whole process we went through, like from when we first talked to having the session and beyond, would you say it was a worthy thing to do? What would you say to somebody who's maybe interested in having a session but they're not sure if they want to invest? What would you say to someone?
I would say that the difference just in me from even when we started talking to it, like now when we're talking like for the final time in this journey, not that we won't
No.
talk again. That is not what I'm saying, but from there to now, there's an immeasurable difference in me. Like, I can't stress enough that not self-harming is not something I've ever stopped.
Yeah.
Since it's been a part of my life since I was high school, beginning of all that shit. While I've been becoming a person that's been, and the fact that that's gone
Yeah.
is insane to me. But where I was so winded and so unthinking, because I'm thinking of a future, I'm thinking of anything, and still trying to sort of like get somewhere because I knew I couldn't be there anymore.
Yeah.
But I was doing that for other people, and what I have now is the knowledge that I am working for a soul, not for that I'm doing things for other people. Obviously, I love people that are in my life. My soul is what I have been given to take care of.
Yeah.
So even though I'm not completely out of the woods, I'm still doing a lot of things, knowing that not only do I have to take care of the soul that I've been given, but I've got to take I've got a soul that takes care of me
Yeah.
through all these lives. It doesn't give me more than I can handle. It doesn't make me do anything before I'm ready.
Yeah.
So just trusting it a little bit and trusting myself that, well, if it chose like a bird that could fly, a whale, someone who lived in ancient Roman times, maybe I'm a little bit special because this soul seems really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm quite cool too.
Yeah.
I can't, even if you don't have anything going on like I have, I still think it's one of the most interesting things I've ever done.
Yeah.
I think it makes you feel like there are very smart people out there who are really in touch with some wisdomous things in a time when people are going batshit in the streets. Sorry, I don't know if I can swear.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's swearing channel, so it's okay.
Brilliant. So like it seems that there can be so much stupidity and so much anger and nonsense going out in the world, and there is, when you go in and research about this stuff, you're seeing all these people that are like completely disconnected from that. They're like, we see that, that's not our shit. We're gonna go over here and just help people
Yeah.
deal with past life trauma, current trauma, physical body
Yeah.
aches, pains, and just be proper healers. I love that. I love that so much. And
It's
I just feel really thankful that I've known you for so long, and it helped me feel really safe. But I feel like anybody that did this with you would just, because like I obviously had to go in like, oh, this is Nina's working voice. Usually we're cackling and totally like hyper. Like, okay, Nina's working now.
yeah,
But yeah, it was. I think anybody would be just really calmly led and safely taken through, and like how much you check in is really helpful. Like how much you have as an information cornucopia to give to people
yeah,
is just like brilliant. And you seem like a very practiced hand at this. It's very like okay, and we just do this, because when you first hear it, it's complete Greek to you. You're just like, okay, I know some of these words. I will try and learn the rest of them. But for you, it's just like, oh yeah, quantum realm, blah blah blah, data this. But you still get really excited about it, which is amazing. You still get like thrilled by it,
yeah,
which is something I hope you never ever lose, because it's brilliant to come out of. It's like the perfect thing to come into when you've just come out of this mind-boggling, traveling through time, crazy thing. And
yeah.
then you come out and you're like, oh my god, that was amazing. And you're like, I know! And you just be excited about it together.
Yeah,
That was just
yeah,
so
yeah.
brilliant.
It was so much fun, and I got a download straight afterwards, like after your session. Like when we were still sort of chatting about it, I got this download that you needed to write. You needed to rewrite your life. Take the pen back and write your life the way you want it to be, from the perspective that it's already happening.
It
And
did, yeah. It was
it
so wild.
it was so, it's like such a strong thing. I had to speak to you immediately about it. I was like, this is like definitely what you have to do. And remember your cards. Remember the
Yeah, my favorite.
writing was one of your cards. That was
Writing, and
amazing.
everything had wings. Everything was a
Yeah,
bird.
yeah, everything had
I was
wings as
like, oh
well.
my god,
No,
how many more birds was I?
I know it was really amazing how all of that connected to what we were doing. So do you feel like the lifetimes you saw and the information you got from your higher self, do you feel like it all you know what it was all trying to tell you? Do you feel like it was?
Yeah, it definitely. It takes more to realize what you're being told when you're in the lifetimes, because you
Yeah,
have to think, well, I'm not in control here. Who is in control? Why am I seeing this?
yeah,
One of it was like, oh, this is one of my favorite lives. I was a bird. Of course, I want to see this. But then I did see, obviously, there was the trauma, and it's like, okay, cry for the bird then. And like, I didn't understand that there was lessons going on until we did say that. Like, birds can't cry.
yeah,
The soul probably didn't after that let out that emotion, because the soul
yeah,
just keeps it.
yeah,
Um, so I had to cry for the bird. So I looked into all these other things, and it just felt like it was telling me something. It's different when you're having the conversation, kind of, with
yeah,
the high self. It's
yeah,
different information you're getting because you're asking the question. And for some of it, it was just harder to get the information because maybe the higher soul didn't plan for you to ask that. It's like,
yeah,
sorry, I have a different agenda. I am teaching a different lesson. It's like
yeah.
walking into a physics class and you're like, so can we talk about Shakespeare for a bit? It's like, no.
No, actually, I've got this to
Didn't
talk
plan
about.
for this.
It's like, okay.
We're talking about this.
Yeah, they know what you need at the time of the session. Your higher self always knows what you need and
Mm-hmm.
what is going to be the most beneficial experience for you to have
Mm-hmm.
during the session. So it's really,
Definitely.
really amazing.
I'd love to have another one just to see what they would say next.
That was going to be my next question. Would you do it again?
Oh my god, I would do it again. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I mean, it takes a lot out of you, definitely. You always sleep well. I was having sleeping problems, and you got my higher self to make sure I slept.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
had a sleep tonight. I was like, yep, that's cool. She can do that.
And how's your sleep been since then? Has it helped?
Oh, it's weird and different. I've got some other stuff going on, so it's affecting my sleep. But
Okay.
we're working on it. I'm getting up before midday,
Good.
which is helpful. That's like currently the goal we're sitting at.
Yeah. I definitely felt like we probably had another session in us. We probably have room to work
Yeah.
together for at least another session at some point this year,
Yeah.
maybe. Sometime just when you feel ready. Um, is there anything else you'd like to add to our little chat today?
Just how grateful I am that you've done it for me. I mean, it was just such a weird thing. It's like I mean, I am being very personal with my story, and I think that'll help people just realize what's going on. Where I was literally the worst I've been um, in my life. I've never felt so completely shaken and traumatized, and to the way I am now. Obviously, I've moved myself. I'm in a different place, but a huge help has been the work we did together, and it was a work. It was a work of art in some ways because it was just so beautiful and it was just so interesting, and it's all I want to talk about with people.
Oh.
Boring for some and really enlightening and interesting for others.
Yeah.
It becomes something you want to just get involved with. It just is like, I want to read more about this, and maybe not quite do it on your level, because I think it must take a lot of inner strength to be going through all this stuff with people and to push them through and to be like the sort of rock standing behind them while they're sort of pelted with all this quantum information of amazingness. Um, but definitely it brings you into this sort of area of knowledge, this sort of like it's like part of this whole thing, which involves meditation, it involves tapping, it's all these different things, and it makes you want to learn about all that stuff because you know then that you do have this big old brain floating in the sky that has your information, all of your information. So if you can contact it again, then that's props to
Yeah.
you. So it's brilliant that you can help people get in contact with that.
It helps you realize how powerful we actually are.
Oh yeah, I'm taking care of a soul that's been to Rome and was a whale. I have been neither of those things as this person. I have not been to Rome. I am not a whale. My soul has seen a lot of shit, and I deserve to take care of it. Well, I must deserve to take care of it, but it deserves to be taken care of.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it makes you love yourself a little bit and think of yourself as a lot more than a little girl in an island in the Highlands.
Well, you've done so well, and thank you so much for being so open and
Thank you so
honest with
much.
us about your experience. And I'm so glad that I could help you with this. And I'm looking forward to our next round. And it's so lovely, so lovely to see you in the spirits that you're in now, because
Yeah,
when we first connected, that smile wasn't there.
yeah.
And I knew you still had it in you because I saw Lana peeking through, but
She was still
there was
somewhere.
this kind of, you weren't fully there.
No.
But it's so lovely to talk to you now and hear you talk with a smile on your face and passion in your heart and just drive to keep going and moving forward. And you said you started driving lessons as well.
I did, yeah. I'm singing Indiana Jones while I drive. Which
Brilliant.
is very distracting, apparently. I don't do very well. But yeah, no, learning how to drive. I'm going to be working at the end of March. We're
Great.
on the up, we're on the up. It's hard to keep it in mind every day. It's hard being a being of the cosmos all the time. And
Okay.
we can be forgiven our slips.
Yeah.
But definitely, I mean, having you in my life is helpful, because every time I'm just like, yes, that's what I am. I have what she helped me find out I am, blah blah blah. But even just having the little recording, it's like, well, you can go back and you can listen to this, and it will just remind you
Yeah.
exactly who and what you are, which
Yeah.
is pretty damn special.
Yeah, it's pretty damn special, and it's why I do this work, because it's not every day that you can go into somebody's deepest, darkest like thought and life and experience, and really
And that's
help
such a
them
trust
connect with
issue.
who they actually are, and in such a profound way. It's yeah, it's great fun. I love it. This light has gone wild. What is going on here? I
You
have just
have sun.
I'm an enlightened being. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Let me move this over. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, Hannah, because
No,
yeah,
well, I have to go plant trees now because
yeah,
the sun's
exactly.
actually out. Woohoo! The sun. See, just talking to Nina makes the sunshine come.
Aw. Well, Hannah, I'm gonna let you go now, because this was a great chat, and I thank you so much for coming on and spending the time doing that with me.
Absolutely, anytime.
And I send you so much love, and
Love
um,
you too.
I'll speak to you soon. So thank you
Bye.
so much for watching, everyone. If you want to have a session with me, you can get in touch. I'll leave all my stuff below, and yeah, I'm more than happy to talk to you about having your own session. So thank you so much, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.